Hello and welcome to the ASC Weekly number 7. We are in the bronze and silver division. I can't believe we made it to week number 7. It's a friggin' miracle. It's all thanks to you guys. We are in the round of 32. This is going to be a best of one before our, between rather, our veteran of the ASC Weekly here, Mr. Al, hang on, Albuquerque. I'm just going to call him Albuquerque. At the top right here, spawning as the red Terran, and at the bottom left, we have the green Terran, a color you don't see very often. It looks like this is a very old command center covered in moss. We have Mr. Istadan, Istanbul versus Albuquerque. I am simpatico for the ASC Weekly.
And I am Voraptek, called in at the last second to substitute for probably just a game or two.
Yeah, gonna have Zeltsum back in probably the next game just to give him some time to eat. He's a very busy individual. Had to basically left class at 8:30. Was here on the nose at 9 o'clock, so gonna give him a bit of time to situate himself. But yeah, we are in the bronze and silver division, so we're gonna see some entertaining games here. I do know that Mr. Albuquerque, or as I believe Seltum named him last week, and as Sleeper Cells reminded me in the chat, Sneeze Noise is what I think we nicknamed him last time. Is what we kind of named him. So we have a TVT here, bronze, silver. I think both of these guys are silver, if I'm not mistaken. Sneeze Noise Albuquerque got some coaching recently, so we'll see if he improved any from last week. So, Mr. Vrapsak, any ideas what might be going on here?
Looks like they're both doing not the Foxer build and not the 1 or 2 rack expand, because they both took their gas, which is something that you very much do not see from Marine King Prime very often.
Yeah, I'm actually interested to see how Marine King Prime does in this month's GSL. He has not played yet, and it'll be interesting because we did see him do quite a bit of differentiation and play from his regular style in the finals. So yeah, definitely neither of these guys doing that. Both players getting that supply depot. Kinda, well, yeah, no. I mean, usually you can, if you're gonna go for this, what I assume is gonna be 2 racks here from Albuquerque, just because, oh no, going for a factory. I didn't notice that he had all that gas stockpiled. Yeah, so this is, I'm gonna guess it's gonna be a tank marine push out of Albuquerque, or maybe we're gonna see a starport and it'll be a blue flame Hellion drop, perhaps. Exactly the same build out of Istadan. So we have some mirror builds here. Only Istadan has two gases, meaning he's probably gonna be teching up quite a bit, very very quickly. So we had a bit of a, just while the game's kind of in a bit of a lull right now. Vrapsak, do you want to maybe explain what's up with the reason why we dropped down to a round of 32 instead of what we usually do?
Okay, so well, the way it normally works out is we end up with about 80 people that register for the tournament, and then usually on a normal day, 45 to maybe 60 of them will show up and check in. And so usually we'll have about 60 people or so, and so it's not too horrible to have a few buys, because the majority of people get to play their first round games. But tonight we only had, I think we had 40, maybe 41 people that checked in tonight, and that's not enough to justify having that many buys, just because the majority of people will start playing in the round of 32.
Yeah, so lesson of the day is, as usual, if you're going to sign up to a tournament, please check in and show up. So both players actually, this is like creepy, because both players are doing the exact same build. That being said, Sneeze Noise Albuquerque got his second gas quite a bit later, which I think was actually more beneficial. He was able to squeeze up more minerals. Unfortunately, he's not spending those minerals on anything. So, I mean, good call on getting the gas a little bit later. He did not need all that gas right up front. So, a little bit smoother build out of Albuquerque. Both players are basically just doing a tank marine push. Istadan's build, again, just doesn't seem quite as fluid. Now getting a starport, so both players are going to be one-basing it up pretty substantially. And both players have been supply blocked quite a few times in this game. Istadan does have siege tanks though, so or siege mode rather, and he's going to plop it down on the high ground there. So if Albuquerque wants to go down and try and get a contain, it won't be too easy, especially considering he doesn't have any spot for that high ground. Is expanding though, getting that command center.
Yeah, it looks like Red's going to be first to expand. Istadan doesn't look like he has really any real intention of expanding. He's keeping his money fairly low now, and he's not started his command center, so it looks like he's going to try for probably either some big timing push, or he might do something interesting with Banshees. A little bit late, though.
That would be interesting and fun to see. Yeah, definitely Albuquerque is going to be ahead quite significantly economically. Both players around the same SCV count, so good on both of those for remembering to do that. Going to start basically just so far no aggression whatsoever, just kind of a race to 200. And while we have that race, I'll go ahead and let you guys know that the Justin.tv Invitational is coming up. That is going to be run by our new and very good friends over at Gosu Crew. Their website is going to be done any day now. I saw the finishing touches being put on it today. It's pretty cool. So that is going to be a pretty massive event, just really high profile. Big name players going to be playing in that for a substantial amount of money. I can't remember what it is on the top of my head, but it's pretty huge. Big players, TLO, Shjo, or however you pronounce that guy's name. So it's going to be pretty awesome. We might be casting some of the games ourselves. The qualifiers are this Thursday, and every Thursday up until, I believe it's March 19th, but you can just check that out. We're going to be putting that up on the website, so you can check out ASCWeekly for that information. So we do have the siege tank line from Albuquerque Sneeze Noise up just in time, and they're going to shell the hell out of these poor Marines. And Istadan is in for some hurt right now. He's way behind army-wise. He's about 20 foot-ish behind, and so
He does have one Banshee out now, though. He might be able to make something good happen with that if he... Yeah, there are no turrets up in the base for right now.
Achoo! Yeah, good call. Good spotting that. I didn't even notice that Banshee coming out. So he's gonna have to do quite a bit of damage with that. The harvester count is still pretty even, but the income from having the better saturation on Albuquerque's side is going to help him out quite a bit. Supply block now, unfortunately, so that's going to put him a slight delay on his army, but it looks like Istadan is going to be massing. They're both basically massing up Tank Marine. I think whoever gets out Vikings first right now or whoever controls the air at this point, is going to have a huge advantage, because obviously siege tanks cannot shoot or rather they cannot see as far as they can shoot. So vision is absolutely huge. We do have that command center now being plopped down by Istadan. He's going to want to maynard a bunch of SCVs over there, which he's doing to saturate that up. And not getting that orbital command though, which is strange. That is huge. He has minerals for it. Both players seem like they're floating quite a few.
Banshee. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, Banshee's now in
Banshees
the base.
are in.
Go ahead.
There are two engineering bays in Sneeze's base for some reason, and he's not using either one of them currently. In fact, he hasn't used either one of them ever. Not to build a missile turret, not to research anything. There comes the scan. He's going to get both Banshees down.
Nice scan to kill there. That did even out the harvester count a little bit. Albuquerque had that second command center a lot earlier, though, and therefore was able to start producing sooner. Not nice positioning here from Istadan. He's going to lose every single one of these units to this gigantic siege tank line. Although if Albuquerque's not careful, these siege tanks are going to do quite a number on his own army there. And now he needs to lift up this factory, otherwise he's going to lose it. There we go, nice lift there. Going to move that out of the range. This barracks also getting shelled right now. Hopefully that will... Alright, so that's going to require a scan. Neither player having too much air support, despite, Istadan does have that starport. Obviously, that's how we got his Banshees, and now starport coming down for Albuquerque.
If you look at the unit tab right now, they both have 5 tanks, but if you look at all of the other numbers, you just see how far ahead Sneeze Noise is, just because he expanded early. He's got 39 SCVs to 35, and he has over 20 more Marines than Istadan has right now. Basically, if he took his Marines or his siege tanks, and his siege tanks, I suppose, you never want to go with half an army, and just kind of ran up at those tanks, as long as he didn't have his Marines clustered up, he could probably break out right now and just end the game. But instead he's doing the safer thing, taking out the destructible rocks to go take his third.
And it looks like Istadan's macro is unfortunately just slipping. I mean, you obviously do see this quite often in bronze. And basically, Istadan, what he needs to do right now is get up a bunch of. First of all, he wants to drop an expansion. You have the money for it. Why not get that expansion out? And then build a bunch of unit-producing structures, because if you have 10 barracks, you can create 10 Marines at a time, as opposed to having, like, 4 barracks, and you can only create 4 Marines at a time. And let's see, I just want to see, no, he's not queuing up units, which is really, really good, but he can't spend this money fast enough with the production he does have. So he could support several more barracks at this point. He can expand, like, 3 times, which is actually what Albuquerque is doing, also floating quite a few minerals, but significantly less. Has a few more unit-producing structures, but again, needs to make sure that if you can't spend your money fast enough without queuing, build more production facilities.
Actually, if you notice, Albuquerque was supply blocked since before he started that command center, and he's just now starting to build a supply depot. So he's been sitting at 94 for at least 3 minutes now. It's given Istadan time to just about even the gap. It's 94 to 91 right now. Yeah, and that's not a good thing.
Istadan is catching up. He will need to expand again, as his main is starting to get quite low. His natural still has quite a few minerals there, and is quite undersaturated actually. But Thor's coming out now. That'll be, you don't see Thor's too often in TVT unless it's just a couple to kind of deal with. Excuse me, Viking flowers and such. They can do quite a bit of damage to those. When you're battling for air dominance, like one Thor can like totally change the pace of the game, just because one shot from a Thor on a Viking flower can do so much damage. It's basically both players neither can kind of break this wall of siege tanks and just some air units at this point, which Istadan does have this Banshee. That might be the turning point in this game.
They actually have 1 Banshee each, and it might actually be a significant thing that, 4 Thors out now for Istadan. Those might become significant because it looks like both players are continuing Banshee production, or at least Albuquerque is, and those Thors are really, really, really good against Banshees. Like, they're good against most things, including siege tanks, but they're really good against Banshees.
So, just more Thors coming out. This is quite a few Thors. But Thors, I don't know the math on it or whatever, but they still go down quite easily to a line of siege tanks. Nice scan there, and he's going to take out 1 Banshee, not the other. Oh, no.
Both Banshees.
Bring your stuff back. There we go. Both players losing all of their Banshees.
A little bit of miscontrol from Istadan on that. He just kind of sat in range of a missile turret while shooting at a tank and just let his Banshees take some missile turret shots. That's something you really don't want to let happen if you can avoid it.
Yeah, hold position can be your best friend in a TVT, because it's very easy to get baited out into a siege tank line, especially when you're both of these